Imagine waking up, completing only 2 hours of work, sitting down at your monitor, your desk, at your laptop, and still getting the same results as you are now. You have the ability to spend the rest of your day enjoying your life, spending time with friends, spending time with family. Well, the thing is, this is actually way easier than you think. And if you follow this simple framework, what I like to call W.A.R, you'll be able to half the time you're working but still get a way better result than you're currently getting. And just before I reveal this framework to you, and the reason why I believe monk mode and working for 12 hours a day is not that good anymore, I just want to tell you a quick story. You see, like usual, I'm sitting in my crusty room. I've literally just woken up and I'm already sitting at my desk trying to work, because what I did the night before was something very strange. I decided to make a new Google Calendar which is full to the brim of just pure work. Like literally, as soon as I wake up, I'm at my desk, I'm working. Well, what I did is I followed through with this routine for 6 months straight. Every single day I would go to school, I'll come back and just work. And by the end of it, you probably think like I was a totally different person. I've put in the work for 6 months. I'm making 10k per month in my business. I've got an aesthetic body. I'm getting bloody A-star grades in every single test. But really, that did not happen. You see, I actually felt super depressed during that 6 months. Even though I was trying to improve my life, really I was the exact same as a video gamer that would just play for 12 hours a day on a computer. And you see, I wasn't working hard at all. I was telling myself that I was working for 12 hours a day. On this monk mode grind set type of thing, right? But I literally managed to do like 1 hour of good work in the entire day. And it got so bad that I felt so guilty for spending time with my friends. I got so guilty for spending time with my family. I had this mindset that I should be working all day, that I should be on monk mode for life, bro. Until I get to 10k per month, lock yourself in your room. And he actually made a video quite a while ago exposing monk mode and why it's garbage and what you should do instead. But I've actually found a much better framework people can follow that literally allows them to work less time but still get a way better result than they're currently getting. And just before I go into this framework, I just want to say, if you want to get personal advice from me, get access to a ton of free resources, click the first link in the description to join my Discord community, alright? If you're sitting here watching this video and you're trying to become more productive, I want you to do a little exercise. I want you to just think and actually be honest with yourself. How many hours are you putting into your goals? And I don't mean any of this shallow work or anything. I mean actually putting your time, your effort, your energy into these goals. Because the thing is, when I did this exercise, when I was on this monk mode thing, I told myself that I was working for 12 hours a day, but really I was only working for 1 or 2. And that's because most of the time was just me watching YouTube, because my productivity was terrible. Because the first thing I want you to realize is productivity is not about increasing your work hours. It's about replacing your shallow work hours with deep work. Because around a year ago, I would not have that mindset. Instead, I would think, if I want to be more productive, I have to increase my work hours. But that's not how it goes. Because if your current work hours are still garbage, you're not doing anything, you're not completing any of the tasks you set out to do, then what is increasing your work hours going to do? It's just going to make it even worse. And this is exactly what happened to me with the story I told you at the start. Every single day, I'd come back from school, I would do some outreach for my copywriting business, but my work hours were just filled with YouTube, going on video games when I was meant to be working. And that made me feel terrible about myself, because you've told yourself that you want to achieve that goal by like X time. But what started happening to my brain was every single time I was not working towards that thing, I would hate myself. I would feel more depressed than like bloody playing video games for 12 hours a day. And if you've ever experienced that, you know how boring it is, you know how bad your life is. But after this monk mode period, when I basically just got nothing done, I made it my mission to try and improve my productivity, because I knew if I improve my productivity, I'll get closer towards my goals. I would land my first copywriting client, I would get better grades at school, right? And as soon as I read this book called Indistractable, I came up with a secret framework basically no one is talking about, and it's called the W.A.R framework. Well, the reason why I called it this relates to the first point, and if you don't understand this, you will never become productive. And if you really want to lower your work hours and get closer towards your goals without really putting in that much effort, I want you to think of this analogy. And basically what it is you need to imagine there's a sniper aiming directly at your skull right now. And in around 2 hours, 3 hours time, he's gonna shoot. The reason why he can't shoot now is because, he doesn't really know how to shoot a gun, so he's just figuring it out. But in around 3 hours, he's gonna blow your brains out, mate. And the reason why this is so important in actually reducing our work hours and achieving more in our day is because I want you to imagine, right, all the tasks you've got to do, all the to-do lists in your day, right? You could probably complete all those tasks if you had a gun to your head and he was about to shoot in like 3 hours, right? If you do agree with what I said, then what's the point of saying to yourself that you're gonna work for 12 hours a day when you complete all that work in 3 hours? So that's the first part of the framework. I want you to imagine that there's a sniper to your head, and I want you to think In 3 hours, you're gonna get shot if you do not complete this work. If you do complete it, you survive another day. The next day, everything's gonna happen again, and you have to complete that work as fast as possible. Now, the next part of this WAR framework is setting a timer for the 1 to 3 hours you're going to work. Now, this kind of links to the first point of this framework, but the reason why I want you to set a timer for 3 hours is because it relates to Parkinson's law, and Parkinson's law basically says we're always gonna complete a task in relation to the time we've set, right? So, for example, if like a bad teacher that you hate sets a homework for tomorrow, you're probably gonna complete it, aren't you? Even if it's a really hard homework, people will still complete it. But if the deadline to complete this piece of homework was like 70 days, everyone will just wait until like the last day to complete it. At least that was for me. And that is exactly what we want to do with our productivity. So we know exactly when we should be working, and outside that time we cannot do any work whatsoever. We will complete all our tasks. So that is the second part of this WAR framework. I want you to set a timer and make sure you complete all your work inside that block. And if you don't complete it, too bad, you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Now, the final part of this framework is very important, and that is to maximize our chances of getting into a flow. Because when we get into a flow, we complete the most amount of work we can do. It's like, for example, if you think to the time you're playing video games with your friends, and the time just like flies past. Well, the thing is, we can actually replicate this onto our work, and it's simply by making ourselves get into a flow. Now, the way we get into a flow is very simple. All we have to do is make the work the most stimulating thing in our environment, and then we won't get distracted. So for example, if you were sitting at the desk and you had two things, you had your phone and your work laptop, you're always going to choose the phone. You're always going to get distracted by the phone. But if your laptop was the only thing on your desk and your phone was nowhere to be found, you would be working. So what I want you to do is make a list of all the distractions you normally face when you're working and find a way to get rid of them. So if it's like YouTube, if it's social media, this is very good because you can literally just get like a website blocker and it blocks the thing until you're done. So for example, I really struggle with going on YouTube. So what I did was I installed a website blocker called Unhook. And basically what that does is it turns my YouTube into a blank page. There's nothing, there's no videos there, there's nothing there. And as soon as I did that, I was able to get into a flow so much easier. Every single day I'll just be able to work so much harder. So that is basically a WAR framework. I came up with this like a couple of months ago and I really think it's going to benefit you. And the reason why I hate monk mode and why this is such a better alternative is because when you say you're going to work all day, all the tasks you do don't take that long. I can guarantee, like I said with the first part of the framework, if you had a sniper to your head, you can get all the work done in an hour tops. I guarantee it. But what happens is our brain's like, alright, we've got so much time to do this task, let's just go on YouTube for a bit. So you find yourself going on YouTube, you find yourself procrastinating, and this is why so many people tell you to reduce your work hours. This is why the 4-hour work weeks exist. It's simply because the lower the time we have to work, the more we'll get done. So like I said at the start of the video, if you want to get access to a ton of free resources, get personal advice from me, click the first thing in the description to join my Discord community. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you use this WAR framework in the next D-Work session you do, because it will change your life. It's changed mine. Goodbye, have a nice day. You're going to Elwin in the face again. Goodbye. Whoa!